Hello, beautiful people of the world. Welcome back to another month of unfortunate events in my life. I spent the entirety of January in a creative block. I planned and planned for my artist journey this year, but I found myself stuck in a loop for days and days and days on end. I realized it's not about having the time or motivation to make art. It was like having a clock stopped at 12 a.m. You're standing staring at a blank wall and physically cannot move towards it or away from it. This is my definition of having a creative block. How I felt myself glued to one position, not being able to move. In addition to all of that, I had been waiting for this month for the past 6 months because this was the only time I was getting off work from my full-time job, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to create something. So after spending many hours, many days in my make-believe art studio because I turned my dining room into my space, I decided to go outside for inspiration. And I was determined, so determined. We decided to go see this castle, which was nearby. So we took a drive on a day trip and we went to this castle. Having a mindset of we are going to a castle, it doesn't really make you think it could be anything other than, a king and a queen story when we take the tour. But really, it was a prison. This castle was a prison. And we heard horrific stories about the history of this place, which made the trip way more interesting. It was great. It was actually great. Unexpectedly, we had a really good time, even though the stories were a little frightening and maybe haunt you for a few days, but it's okay. People in the olden times were they didn't have boundaries. Regardless of the stories, it was still really beautiful, and the sun going down earlier was a really pleasant thing for us. We got to see the sunset and the lights in a new city, so that was nice. While I was walking and exploring in the cold, it was very cold and I was not covered enough. I was just thinking, maybe I cannot put my mind to my art because I always have projects that I start in spring, because my motivation is mostly nature and flowers. But then I also thought maybe I'm making excuses. Maybe all of these are just excuses of me not being able to do something about something that I really want to do. Did that make sense? Maybe. I might have pressurized myself a little too much over this, so I think that also became the reason how I couldn't start anything, and no matter what I had in my mind, I couldn't put it to paper. So, stuck in a loop. And then one morning it happened. I actually could sketch something. I made a sketch of something I dreamt of, and maybe my dream became my motivation. But I think it opened up my mind, and I stopped thinking too much into it, and I just went for it. And even though this was the most slowest painting I have ever made, and it took me days to just finish one small piece, I think it's still a lot of progress from where I started. Decided to spend a day with my sister, going around town, doing some shopping, having some nice food, and obviously coffee. It's a must.
I don't mind. This one is nice actually.
Damn it, pretty.
Väldigt bra.
You don't get a kid now. I was like, okay.
There was this cutest artist shop. It was so stunning. I couldn't record inside because I got so mesmerized by everything. I ended up getting a really cute sketchbook which has a handmade cover on it. I did not put this in the video, but just imagine the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. After another few days, back to my make-believe art studio. I finished my painting. Let me know what you think. I didn't actually think that I would be able to put together a video this month because of how stressful this whole procedure was for me. But I managed to put something together. So I hope you enjoyed my art block, my creative block, which I did somehow overcome. I still feel a little lost on it, but I'm getting there. I think if I've made a little progress, I'll be able to make more. Maybe not on the pace that I initially wanted to, but yeah, we're getting there. And thank you so much for coming along, and I will again see you soon. Love, Sahar.